Hi, welcome back to my channel. I can't believe it's the end of June. July is here, half a year is gone, we only have 6 months to finish all our reading plans. The world is on fire, so today I'll be bringing you my June wrap-up. I read 7 books, all of them were audiobooks because I really didn't have time to sit down and read. I was either traveling to work, eating at work, or traveling back from work, so this is how I spent most of my time. Other time I've been playing The Last of Us 2 on my Twitch and uploading it to YouTube, so if you want to check them out, links in the description. Otherwise, let's jump in. Let's see what I read. So the first book that I picked up was The Aeronauts Windlass by Jim Butcher. It's a standalone, but then it's kind of a series, but he hasn't written anything else in the series. It's a story where we're following it's like a steampunk world, and there's this Captain Grimm who is taking his crew into like a fight against the government or something similar. It has powerful gems, it has talking cats, and it has flying ships. It doesn't sound like something I would enjoy, and it turned out not to be. It was a long book full of really like many characters, and they all sounded the same, and I got confused multiple times. It seemed to be some sort of a thing where authors will include 2 female characters and they sound the same and you just get confused who they are. I think I've read 3 books recently that are all on a similar vein. This came up as one of the available books on my library, so I thought, I'll read it because I heard Murphy Napier talk about it and she said it was such an easy read, such a fun read, she really enjoyed it. And I just really didn't connect to any of the characters, I didn't have the emotional feeling, even when they were dying, I was not invested at all. And the talking cat, the maid one, was so creepy. I was just like not having fun. I ended up giving this 1 star, unfortunately. I will give Jim Butcher maybe another try. I saw that his other series is available for audiobook as well. Maybe it's a bit different, maybe it's a bit better. I think the main criticism for this particular book I've heard is that it's just very much of too much of an homage to like a steampunk genre, and he almost just like overdoes it a bit. So after that disaster, I picked up Karen McManus's One of Us is Lying, which is the highly coveted teen mystery novel. We're following 4 main characters and they were all in detention, and there was another person in there, so there were 5 of them in detention one day, and that one of the people dies, and we're trying to find out if the 4 that were in the same room killed the person or not. And I think it was really cleverly done. There were certain parts, like the mystery part was really good until like the ending reveal was just so, I guess it was believable, like I had some hints and hunches about that, but you couldn't figure it out on your own. There was no trail left for you, because I guess as you're following all the other characters you don't get that. And it's something similar. I read another one of her books, so I'll talk about it a little bit later on, but there's something about her writing that she's so great at like the general setup and the character developments, but then the ending is just so like out of nowhere, unbelievable, just not fun to read. I ended up giving this a 3 star, just it was good, but it's not something that I will like rave about. Then I picked up Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. I was flipping between the physical copy that my friend had lent me and the audiobook. The audiobook was really good. I think they're really short and snappy, but the narrator's really amazing. So it took me by surprise. And now that I think about it, I was not sure how I was going to feel about the series. I was putting it off reading it, really. There was no interest for me. I was just like, I've heard really mixed things. People either love it or hate it, and there's in-betweens. And as it is so short, I was really, I guess, curious now, and just, I thought, let's pick it up. I was really, really impressed. Mainly we're following Nancy, who has just recently come out from her door. So in this world there are these doors that children can find, and when they cross over they end up in the world that suits them the best and they belong there. But sometimes the worlds throw the kids out, and when it happens, there is this woman who also has grown up. She used to go through these doors, but now she's grown up. She wants to shelter those children and help them out in the real world. So we're following Nancy, who has been sent to this boarding school, and she meets the owner, or the person who runs it, Eleanor, and we're following like a mystery that happens inside the house, and we hear like snippets of these people's lives behind those doors. I thought it was so fascinating, and I think in this particular case I didn't need to know all the backstory or all that happened to Nancy in that world or see Nancy doing anything in that world. I just really enjoyed everything that Sean McGuire put together. I think it had just the right elements. It was a really, really good read. I ended up giving it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like a high 5, it wasn't a 5 for me. I guess it was missing something, but I really, really recommend it. And as this series was available in my library online, so for audiobooks, I picked up the second, the third, and the fourth one. So the second one, Down Among the Sticks and Bones. In this one, I'm following a twin duo from the first book, but their actual story of how the life was in their particular doorway world. I guess what I didn't like about it, so we do hear about their story in the first novel, and this is a bit more like an expanded version, I guess. I didn't really connect. I didn't really necessarily like Jack or Joe. Yeah, that's the characters' nicknames, really. I know. And I just wish maybe, I guess it gave the perspective and a bit more background to those characters and their actions in the first book, but almost like you could have just started with this book and then told the other story. You know? I ended up giving this a 2. Like, it wasn't fantastic. I really didn't care. It was short, so it was fine, but it wasn't it. Beneath the Sugar Sky, we're following one of the characters from the first book, their person of interest, in a different kind of sense, in the third book, and then they kind of come across from the doorway to help them do something to stop their world being destroyed. It was not fun at all. Like, literally, it was so confusing. It had another element of like a murder mystery again, and it was just not exciting, and maybe it was too sweet because the world beneath the Sugar Sky, one of the worlds in there, is all about sweets, all about like candy and stuff, and it felt sickly reading it, and it's like, oh. I also ended up giving it 2 stars. And then we get to In an Absent Dream, which is the 4th book in the series. Now we're following one of the characters from the first book again. I guess we got introduced to like loads of people, and then we like expanded on the universe. In this one, we're following one of the, she was not a maid, but she was like one of the helping staff, sort of, in this school house situation. Her name is Catherine Lundy, and we follow her journey through how she went into these doorways, and she has actually been in a couple of them, like she's been to her world multiple times, and she kept coming in and out, and I really, really liked that story. I think the Catherine Lundy's character is amazing. She's really well crafted, and her relationships that she created in that story, it was just so emotional, and you really start understanding how some of these worlds work and how it is really, really difficult to go in there and come back, but then return again and then maybe come back again, and just like this pain that you have, that you really want to not forget where you come from, but how you actually really belong in somewhere else. It was such a bittersweet and sorrowful, but also such an amazing, amazing book. So out of the 4, I would say this is my favorite. I really, really liked it. I really want to see where the series goes now. I won't be like buying them. I don't own physical copies, but I would read the 5th one when it comes out in audiobook near me. So yes, I ended up giving it a high 4, maybe like even 4.5. And the last book that I picked up this month was You Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. So this is not in the same series as One of Us is Lying. The One of Us is Lying has a different sequel that I only just got through in my library, so I'll be reading it and reviewing it next month. So this one tells a story of 2 twins. They are being sent to live with their grandma because their mom has been put into a mental hospital and they don't know their dad. So their grandma takes them in, and she lives in the original place where their mom grew up. And their mom hasn't spoken about her life at all. She kind of kept it secret because, what was like 23 years ago, her sister got kidnapped or disappeared suddenly, so they never found out what happened to her. And then we follow this real life kind of murder mystery where something happens and their siblings get involved, and they kind of become these like celebrities in the town, the children of someone who used to live in this town. So it's all like small town, kind of big, everyone knows who everyone's business. I really enjoyed it more than the One of Us is Lying. I think because it had only like, I think it was still following 3 perspectives, but it just felt a bit more condensed, just a bit more precise, and the characters had their own unique voices. You could really tell them apart. You really felt for certain characters, you knew what to expect from their emotions and their actions. But the ending, just like, where did that come from? You could have never imagined that. That's just so disappointing. I got to the end, I was like, really? This is it? This is how you decide to do it? Like, it makes sense, but I just wish I could, I don't know, figure it out myself in a way. But again, when you're following someone else's perspective, you can't see everything that's happening. So maybe that's her tool of storytelling. As I said, I'll be reading her sequel to One of Us is Lying, so we'll see how that one goes. But it's just so sad how such a great premise, such a great first part, and like most of the book, and then the end is just like, yeah, I ended up giving this 4 stars. So it was solid. I really liked it, but the ending. And that concludes it. I have not read much. I have not enjoyed much. I think when I find a game, I really like commit to it, and I'm constantly thinking about it, so I can't really enjoy anything else. And especially with going back to work, there's less hours in a day, so I really prioritize different things now. So I will still be reading, but it is possible you'll be seeing a few less videos about books. Maybe not, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But thank you so much for watching today. Let me know in the comments if you read any of these, your thoughts. Maybe you have any recommendations based on my feelings on these books. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you feel like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!